Good morning, everybody. So, as I wrote in the chat room, this will be probably the last update till mid of next week because I will be off for a week. So, today we will start looking at DXY like usually. This is the monthly chart. After the month's close, always start with the monthly chart to see where we are on the big picture, let's say. So if we look at this big picture, and we take off the fib we don't need to see now, you see this big trend line that was broken, retested once, and then we had the second leg lower after the break of this trend line. And we have had this big bullish monthly candle showing nice momentum. We can see that it's one of the biggest candles since a long time. We can look at that, but I'm pretty sure looking at it just like this that it's about 2.8, 2.9%. So I think it's one of the biggest we had like really since this one probably. Anyway, it's a big candle, so it shows momentum, and that's why I still look for another push higher, even if we touch this 61.8 of the ABC. That can be changed by NFP, probably. Change, I don't think so. We can see lower with NFP, but I'm still trying to get long USD, thinking we will come back, probably touch this finally this 38.2 fib here at 94.45 area. So that's the very long-term view. Now, if we go a little bit inside and we look at how we closed last week on our important fib that are these 236 and 214 fib. So this is the measurement of the last movement down, this big swing down we have here. The 236 is an important fib, and we see we closed under it last week with a big bearish candle. I'm not changing yet because of this impulsive move we have before. Even if we close under the 236, it's a month of summer with thin market, so I'm still staying long and looking for another push, at least to the one-to-one that we will see now, the one-to-one extension that we have here. We touch the 61.8, we should see the one-to-one and probably the 1-to-72 right on this fib. We have this trend line there, so something like this, that's what I'm looking for, and then we would resume lower. That would be a perfect scenario, and August could be a good month to see that, because thin market, so we can see very extended move in August, and even sometimes till 15th of September or beginning of September. So we will check what we have, but that's what I look for now. So I'm still short Euro USD. I took a short on Friday that I posted, and the long USD CAD that I posted too. So that's really what I'm looking for, a move higher. We can go now on a daily basis. So we see that the last 2 days, like yesterday and today, of course, is just starting, are very indecision candle, even if we have a long wick on the bottom, meaning we have some buyers turning around. And this candle on Friday that became green after being red. So I called this level on Friday, posted it in Twitter and in our chat room here. So we stopped to the peep in this area, and that's something important because it is the 38.2% of the move up. So it is the 38.2 of the swing up, meaning it's the first level where we can really see a big bounce or a bounce starting from here. It doesn't mean we will stop here, but it could very well be likely we stopped here and we run higher, trapping, of course, everybody that want to be short USD. So that's my view for now. This level has been respected very nicely at 38.2. We had some other things with a weekly double bottom of some bodies of weekly candles. You can see here, that's why I have this level there. Because of those two candles, this green and this red, we had the bodies right there, giving us a very strong support, plus this 38.2 that was giving us a good probability of seeing a bounce on Friday, and that's what happened right from this level. So now I think we will go higher to look for those levels. NFP can make a little bit lower, but what I think we should see is really a move in this area before the end of August or something like that. So now we go deeper inside here. It's still the same chart, it's still the same fib, nothing has changed till we respect this bottom here, which is very important because it's the ABC daily that has given us this 61.8 level where we bounce from, and we respected on a daily basis. You see we never close above this one. We have spiked a little bit above, but we respected it very well. So this one could be a top because 61.8 is the first target of the ABC extensions. The reason why I still look for another leg is what happened before it. It's a big impulsive move. So when we have such a move, we have a strong momentum behind us. And that's why I still look for a second leg up to this double top here, which will be the double top with the previous high. So we should come back up there. Then we would come back inside again the 61.8 or perhaps a little bit lower and then bounce from it. Or we can just pierce in August without stopping there and go to this area with the double trend line, the 38.2 and the 1-72 of this daily extension. So that's what I'm looking for. If we look at the level chart, same thing. We stop on a green level. We had here another support in this area. Nothing has changed. It's still the same chart since the last weeks, even probably months we have. So nothing has changed. We are playing inside this level. What has been super resistant for now is this 2140. We need to break above it. It's the same 2140 that we have here. So we saw in the last days, we have been respecting it here. It's this red one. Let me take off this ABC. So it's this red fib, and I will take off the last swing. Okay, so we see we have been stopping there. Here we have the 38.2 of the move up, so it would be good retracement to bounce from. And now we are struggling a little bit on this 114, this 214 fib. So we are struggling there. We should break it and come back. Of course, NFP can be catalyzer either to take a little bit deeper or to break and start the move up. That's what I would like to see. Concerning EURUSD, well, it's the same picture inverted. So we have a monthly close. Let's go there. So we have a weird monthly close on the EURUSD. You see it's not the same at all than the DXY, but we have a bullish candle with a kind of doji, whatever we can call it, but a long wick green candle. So that respected this trend line for now. Everybody wants to be short USD according to macros and inflation provision. So that's where we are now. We have a 236 fib here. We have the daily and the let me put it there. So we have those two fib extension that we draw. This is the daily, and the green is the 4 hour of this big move down. So we see we stop on some order blocks there. So now we have this candle, same thing. We could see a little bit higher, but we could very well stop here and then resume lower. That's what I posted on Friday. We took a short from this level there because we had exactly here, that was the call on Friday. We had this level, we had a setup, we came back inside. You see that on the open, we broke through the 2 EMAs here, and then of course it has been bought. Since then, I reshorted some here on Monday. Since then, we are struggling in this area, so we need to see an inverted image on the DXY and probably a move lower running to the levels we have here. So those levels are drawn on this picture, on this chart. And that's what we are looking for. So we see we struggle. That's the big monthly ABC. We struggle on the 78.6 for now. So the projection of this big 78.6 would be the one-to-one here, but we need to come back under the 61.8. That's very important. So we need to see a close under this level. If we look here, you can see that the last days we have been really struggling around the 61.8 here. It's a big monthly ABC. So we would need to come back there. Once it has been violated, usually you can see some pullback, so some bounce, whatever. We come back inside it, and then we should go to the one-to-one, which is 116.21. That's another thing that makes me look for this bounce on DXY. It's all related. So that's what we have on the bigger view and shorter view. As I said, short-term view, we had this sell call here on Friday. We pull back from it. We had a great setup, so we need now to cut those daily 2021 EMA, and here the 4 hours. I think it's the 4 hours, unless I'm wrong. No, it's the 4 hour. That's the 200. Sorry, it's the 200 moving average we have there. So on daily, it's much higher. But on the 4 hour, we will have a hard time here. That's why I was staying on the 4 hours, because I remember that. So this is the 4 hour 200 moving average, and this is the daily 2021. So they will create here a cluster, and we will need to break through that. So we need something to happen, and probably an FP can do that, unless we bounce from it, and we should go lower later. So that's what we have. Sorry. The last thing I wanted to discuss is the AUDCHF. So let me bring the chart of that one here. So this is the chart I posted since last week. I was looking for this channel to play in, like it did here. Inside the channel, this big channel, we have a kind of wedge that we have tried to break today. We will not break it on the first time. So now it could be a possible entry that we would pull back and bounce on the channel bottom again here with a weekly top order block. So we could come back on this area, let's say around 66.77 or 66.71, bounce from it and finally pierce it. That will give us a really great trade, because from the bottom to the top of there we have 250 pips. So we could potentially see it. I have been long, and I called a long on Friday at let me look at the chart I posted at 66.54. So we have been long in this area here on this fib. So that's where I call the long. I am long from there. I took 40 something pips this morning because we are in the top of this wedge. But looking at the price action, that thing should break higher. We had some data. Let me check. It's tomorrow or today. We had some data with yes, with no, this is with RBA rate statement and cash rate, and that's today, by the way. That was today. So I hope we will go on, and so we have no more big data unless we have the NZD tomorrow, but that should not make a big change here. So I'm looking for a bounce from a lower level now, like here or there. I will reload some probably in this area, look for a break of this wedge, and then we would probably go to see this big, the top here, 250 pips higher. So ideally, we can see something like this. We can go there, bounce from this area, then we would pierce, probably come back to retouch the wedge, then the mid-range here, and then we could follow on this top of channel. That's what I'm looking for, and that's the only trade I'm really focusing on now with the EURUSD short I have. That's all I keep for this week because, as I said, I will be traveling, so I won't be looking too much at screens. And I don't like to open trade just before traveling. So that's what we can see on AUDCHF.